I'm Rabbi Patrick, and welcome to Kehillah. So, I was trying to figure out the first time I met you. Do you remember when that was?
It was shortly after Rabbi Romer passed.
That's what I thought. Did I meet you at his funeral?
Probably.
I think so, because I think I remember being at Blyle's and yeah, and like you coming up to me and introducing yourself and all that. But it was one of those like it's not a hang, right? It's not a
No,
time that you really talk.
no.
But yeah, wow, gosh, that was forever ago. That feels like a whole lifetime ago. And you've certainly had a lot of adventures since then.
I guess that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, and you just got back from, a gig out west, and now you're here in Richmond. So what's been going on with you? What have you been working on?
Working on work for the most part, just having a steady income. There's also of course, with Bizarro Torah, with that, starting to put out my feelers for that. I've got some pretty interesting things lined up. I'm going to be at the Queer Jews of Color Shabbaton with Keshet coming
That's
up in
cool.
February. And
Okay.
I know like everybody's on vacation and like their budget's already spent by now. So I'm like, um, it's that weird wait and see thing where it's like, okay, you need to put the bug in their ear in,
Right.
in a very timely way, but you also have to make sure that they're there to do it. So,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, all right, yeah.
So okay, so that's in February. What's that going to be like?
It's gonna be at Pearlstone, up there in Maryland, not too far from Baltimore. I've
Yeah.
been to that place like a million times, so it's like it's almost like a weekend, like a staying over to grandparents for the weekend kind of situation for me. But
Nice.
it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna be um leading well, I say role playing session, but I think I'm gonna start calling it a storytelling game session. Um,
So that reminds me a little bit of that word wheel, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it that you gave me. Word wheel and woe, which I
yes.
thought was so cool. I really liked that, and I feel like I haven't had a chance to even tell you that how much I liked that.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that was a yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, I'm always designing games and stuff, dear listener. So I forget what games I actually design sometimes. Like,
That's awesome.
oh yeah, I designed that. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it. It's not one of those overtly Jewish games, but it's got a certain Jewish theme in it, which is the power of words to create
Wow.
reality. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's there.
So yeah, that's the whole thing about how abracadabra is Aramaic and it's, by my words, right? I create. That's incredible. So like what got you into games? Because that's like a thing you're really into.
Mhm. Um, I guess I might be one of those closeted theater kids who never got a chance to be on stage,
Oh
who
wow.
missed my shot to be on Broadway. So
Nice.
it's like, so I'm like, well, I like the performative aspect of it. Yes, I like the storytelling, and just so I'm also a playwright because I like the shared imagined space of it all.
Uh-huh.
And
Shared, say that one more time because that was really cool. The shared imaginative space of it all.
yeah, shared imagined space. It's not even my
Imagined.
term.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even my term. It's like now that role playing is about 50-ish years old as a hobby, we're starting to get like people going to school to study. And the term that's called like the shared imagined space, which is like how everybody who's participating imagines what's happening, as a
Mm,
collective.
okay.
And yeah, and that aspect of it was always like there. Um, and I like the aspect of being able to pretend to be other people. I never outgrew my uh I never outgrew my desire to play pretend.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
So it's like, and so if it involves like elves or magic and or vampires, werewolves, and the like, monsters and things like that. And pretending and trying on those different identities and trying on those different experiences. I'm so there. Um,
Wow.
so yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it is an amazing idea. I've talked about this a few times in different contexts that the universe gave birth to the ability to imagine, right?
Mhm. Right.
Like the very idea that we can create alternate realities in our mind, for better or for worse, um, and that we can kind of live in some capacity in these other parts of ourselves or these imagined spaces. It's truly like it's a really magical thing on some level.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's really cool to think that that's something that that you're trying to manifest in this world, right? Like more of those imagined spaces.
Yeah, I think so. Um, to me, well, it's almost like I guess for me, and this is probably my own shortcoming here, is that it comes to me so easily that I take it for granted, and I don't realize that other people are not built the same.
Mm.
So when
What
I
do you
see people struggle with it, I'm like, what do you mean? Don't you play pretend?
right. So what context do you see people struggling with that?
I'm going to be honest, it's often grown-ups. Um,
So you wouldn't
grown-ups.
put yourself in the grown-up category?
I hope I've been trying not to, but my birth certificate says otherwise.
Right.
Um, the grown-ups, especially grown-ups who are in fields where imagination and play are not encouraged, especially if they don't come from a theater background or come from a long history of role playing. So like there are a lot of like engineers and computer programmers in the hobby, but they've been doing it since they were like 12. So they're used to that,
Mm.
trying on different identities and being bold and outrageous and expressive. But other people might find like there's that inner critic and that inhibition and
Mm.
that thing that says, I don't know, this looks silly, or I don't know
Right.
if this is a good idea. Oh, I'm not clever like the people, like the Hollywood people who get paid to do this. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it when not having a right way to do it is kind of the point. So it's like
Right.
people are really kind of when they realize the freedom available to them, they can get like really stuck and very paralyzed by it.
So where do you, when you think about this idea of like the right way to do it and people
Mhm.
being, like you said, stuck and paralyzed, how does that work for you when you then connect that with something like Judaism, where there is this very ritual component and there's halakha and there's all of these things that, for lack of a better word, like they create the lines on the coloring page. And then when you're a creative person, the perception of a creative person is that someone who doesn't want to be boxed in, that doesn't want lines on the paper to color in. They want to paint the wall if they want to. How does that work for you?
Uh, I exist in tension.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
pretty much the most Jewish space to exist in. Um, the there's part of me that's like when I was on that episode of Judaism Abound, where that part of me where it's like on the one hand, it's like I want to not have dots at all. I want to,
Right.
instead of connecting them for me, I want to make my own shapes and make my own pictures and do my own thing and really push boundaries as much as I can. But on the other hand, and this might come as a surprise to some people, constraints can spark creativity.
Oh, sure.
Like
Yeah.
when I was doing theater, like nothing got me. So some of my best ideas came out of sheer desperation because I had some hard limits I had to work around. Like,
Right.
okay, well, my budget's only so much, so I can't recreate a beach on the stage, or I only have so much time, so I can't do this sort of fantastical transition scene or whatever. So it's like, okay, so how do I give the sense of XYZ within these very strict limits I'm dealing with because theater is real people in real space with real materials. So I can't just ignore physics, for instance.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. There's a famous quote. I actually had to look it up so that I could remember. The enemy of art is the absence of limitation, and that's an Orson Welles quote. Apparently,
Mm,
I had heard that in my music days, and I couldn't remember where that comes from. And it's true. Like I remember. I mean, this is going to sound kind of terrible, and I'm admitting something that I'm almost embarrassed by, but I feel like creatively, some of the best work I ever did was when I had jobs I hated, or
mm,
when when I would do something, and maybe I didn't hate my job, but somewhere that, well, sometimes I hated my job, but like
mm,
things where I would go to something and I would do the job. And sometimes it was fun, and sometimes you enjoyed yourself, and sometimes you got to be creative. And then other times you're just kind of going along with whatever you got to do. And then you come home and there's the art studio, or there's the recording studio in your basement,
mm,
or there's, a bunch of people around that you can make something with. And not having the opportunity to express yourself then gives you whatever that wellspring of creativity and emotion is, that then you can go into another place,
right.
whether it's an actual physical place or even your imagination, and you
Hmm.
can come up with something spectacular. And now, every moment of my life, I'm having to create something. That's kind of the gig. And I feel like actually I'm less creative now than I used to
Mm,
be, because
yeah.
I don't have those times where I go and have to be bored and then go home and make something.
Right.
Those moments are fewer and fewer in terms of like what I do all day. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. What a wonderful problem to have. Um,
And you know what? That's why I'm embarrassed to admit it, because it sounds like poor little rich girl type of thing. But it's frustrating because you're never going to, at least not in a particular part of creativity, you're never going to reach those heights. Like
mm,
you're kind of done. The best, like I was talking to Ariana a few minutes ago. We were talking about music, and I didn't say this to her, but I it popped in my mind. I will never write good music ever again. Like it just
mm,
will never, like it will never come out of me. I'll never be able to do the things creatively in that part of life that I did when I was 21. It evaporated. And it's like a really sad, like I almost had to like say Kaddish for that part of my creative life.
mm. Yeah. I don't, well, I think I see what you mean. That's not been my experience, but then again, I haven't had that opportunity to make it my full-time thing.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen for me if like the same thing's going to happen. But at the
Yeah.
same time,
Hopefully it doesn't.
maybe not. Maybe it's just like finally a place to put all this. Um,
Right.
and yeah, because I guess I have to kind of confess this, and you have your confession, maybe I have mine too, where
Go
it's like
for it. Let's do this.
I can't handle that. No, I really can't.
You can't
The
handle what?
the I because right now I'm working a seasonal job, and it's
Sure.
a job.
Yeah.
Say it's not toxic. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually, it's not exactly curing cancer work, but okay, I do something and it has a tangible effect,
Hmm.
and I get to, use my hands, but
Okay.
like I'm not engaging my creativity in any way.
Right. Right.
And my God, I am creating solutions to problems that don't exist. It's it must kind of like confuse and or annoy my coworkers when I do it, but it's
Wow.
like I don't know enough about them to know if they themselves are creative people. But
Oh,
like,
okay. Gotcha.
but I'm like, y'all, if I don't do something with this, it will turn toxic so fast it'll make your head spin. And like I need an outlet for it. It's because I think this is probably where I can say I'm built different. And I hate saying it like this. It is not a bragging thing. It has
Right.
caused me a lot of problems when it comes to my ability to say follow a specific career trajectory.
Okay.
Like if I don't have that creative outlet, my need for one is huge. If
Okay.
I'm not using it, I don't function properly. I really don't.
Mm.
I
Do you
really, I really don't.
Do you feel like you have at least some of that outside of work life? Like, are you able to sort of go back to where you are and whatever your process is, are you able to
Mhm.
like go to that place mentally?
Yes, on weekends when I'm on my
Yeah.
days off, and like sometimes like before I go to bed, but everything's closed in and I can't share it with people like talking about. But
Mm,
it's and then of course like on weekends or whatever, it's like okay, I'm kind of tired. I need to focus on the stuff that I can do, like the quick stuff I can do. Um,
yeah.
and there's also like finishing things. I have to get into that habit
Mm,
too.
yeah.
Um, and really overcome my perfectionist tendencies about that. Um, but yeah, it's like I have the weekend outlet. I'm not that person who can do 60 hours of working a week at a humdrum kind of situation.
Yeah.
I can't do it. For those who are able to, my hat is off, especially to people in the healthcare field, especially the nurses who do
Mm.
the pee, poop, and puke stuff. I Not for me. Hats off
Yeah.
because that is we need those. We need that
Yeah.
always. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, good. You do that because I can't, especially not
Yeah.
on my feet all day. So,
No, I listen, I'm with you. Like I gave up, these are things I don't talk about with people, but I gave up opportunities in different careers because of that. Like I am not a cubicle guy. And we used to joke, there was a time where I was employed but a little bit underemployed. And did you ever watch the show King of the Hill?
a few episodes.
Okay, so there's this one episode where Dale, who's the exterminator guy, he gets a job
Yeah.
in like a corporate office, and the name of the company is Stick Co. And he wants to wear his hat, like that's part of the characters. He wears this like orange hat, I think it is. And
Mhm.
the HR woman keeps saying there are no hats at Stick Co. And so this became a thing in our household where I would be applying for jobs that were not at all related to Judaism or anything that I'm sort of known for. And I wouldn't get the job or I even wasn't even getting interviews. And I would keep saying because I was so upset with not being able to find something where I could be kind of creative and the things you're talking about. And I kept saying, well, yeah, so how did it go today, Patrick? Well, there are no hats at Stick Co. And I kept saying this over and over again to the point now that I think Rebbetzin has PTSD from hearing me say, like, there are no hats at Stick Co. There are no hats at Stick Co. as a way of saying, like, I'm really not finding what is me and feeling like there's no place for me in this world. And
Mhm.
that was like a terrible feeling that I wasn't even sort of quote unquote good enough for the cubicle, right?
Right.
And so there are times when I was kind of going through that where I would think back on like, man, like I wish I had taken those opportunities to be a different kind of person and to have a different kind of life. But Gamzula Tova, like now I'm where I want to be. It just took 42 years to accomplish it.
Yeah. I think I might be right behind you in another 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, could
Yeah.
be.
So,
There's a really great author named Rob Bell. And I kind of thought about you a little bit when I was listening to him. He did a Patreon series, and I forget what the name of it was. It's like his Patreon. Um, and he talks about how he's sort of known for being a person who was able to make a living as a creative, and he bounced around from like being he was a pastor at one point and then he became an author and then I guess he was too progressive in his religion and so then he lost his audience and whatever and so he did this series. It's like 9 hours long where all he talks about is making a living as a creative. And one of the things he talks about is that there's a lot of different ways of approaching it. So for some people, it's going to be you do the creative thing all day. And then for other people, it's you find the thing that takes nothing from you and you do that and you see it as a gift that like you have the gift of like going to this 9 to 5 job or this work site or whatever. And it asks nothing of you and you hold back all of your intellect and you hold back all of your emotion and you just kind of laugh all the way to the bank. And then you go home and paint or draw or write stories or whatever your thing is. It's like that's actually like that's easy to say, but it's hard to do. Like it's
Oh
hard to
yeah.
do that in the moment and to see
Hmm.
it that way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It reminds me of something this career coach, I think her name is Jenny Clark,
Okay.
was saying about like, well, everybody has a narrative about work.
Okay.
And for some people, like work is a mission. So
Mm.
they live to work in a sort of way.
Okay.
Some people work as an anchor, which is a way to structure their time and their day. And it doesn't really matter how you do it, it just matters that it's there.
Right.
And for
Okay.
some people, work is just like a means to an end. It's
Mm.
just purely transactional, whether it's
Okay.
for money or for status or what have you.
Okay.
And then they're kind of like, could take it or leave it as far as the job.
Sure. Sure.
And it's like, okay. And I had to make peace with the fact that I'm one of those people who wants to be married to their work.
Oh, wow. Okay. You
Eh,
want to be married to your work, but that's
Yeah,
just not where you're at right now.
right. Yeah,
Wow.
the right partner hasn't come along.
You're looking for what's the shidduch for
Yeah,
creative
I
work?
know.
Wow, that's a good way of looking at it.
The right one
Yeah.
hasn't come. I haven't found my
Yeah.
Bashert yet, okay?
But you know what? It's so true though when you live an artist's life. And I don't think people who know me, like know Rabbi Patrick and don't know any of my past and don't know any of the work that I did, like you do, the kind of life that I lived before this life. And it really is. I had a wedding the other day, and all of the money that is made from life cycle events goes to Kehillah. I don't keep it myself. And in return, I'm paid a salary. But I was at this wedding and I was coming home from it, and I'm wearing this like navy blue suit and these brown leather shoes, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is, because I'm thinking about back in the day, like being in music and art, and when people see me around the house I'm just wearing solid black. um but then I realized like this creative outlet that I have of writing these wedding ceremonies and getting to be with couples and going to these different places. It is the band, like it is the
Yeah,
punk band.
yeah,
You show like the last wedding I had, I set up the chuppah for them because that's something that Kehillah does now, and I made their ketubah. And it's like, yeah, I would have never thought when I was 21 or 22
mhm,
and living in a Dodge conversion van and trying to make a go of it in punk rock that no, actually the DIY show that you need to do is being a rabbi. Like,
yeah,
but it really it is a comparable, what do they call it in like HR? A comparable, no, transferable skill.
yeah. It's a
Yeah,
transferable
it's a
skill.
transferable skill. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like, what if you could envision what you would be doing all day? What would that be? Would you be mostly focused on the game writing? Would it be playwright stuff?
Mm. Probably the game stuff.
Yeah.
And I and I I asked ChatGPT.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh, boo, ChatGPT, you're a creative person. You're
I
supposed to hate
know
ChatGPT.
I'm supposed to hate it, but it tried to write something for me. I was like, "What is this garbage?"
Right. No, it totally is.
What
It
is this
can't write
garbage?
creatively. Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, thank you. You can save that ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Uh, so I said, okay, ChatGPT, and I put in like I did. I was paranoid enough not to put in specifics for like
Okay.
locations and my names, but
Yeah.
like I put in my resume,
Okay.
and I said, okay, this is what I want to get paid to do. And after some back and forth, I said, actually, what I want to do is storytelling games on demand.
Storytelling games on command. Okay, so
On
what is
demand.
that? On
On demand.
demand. Okay,
Yeah.
what's that like? What would that be?
Well, the way I see it, these organizations, they can be corporations, they can be nonprofits, they can be museums, schools, and what have you. They say, okay, we need a hands-on immersive experience for 2 hours. We need someone to
Okay.
come in for about a couple of hours to lead this. And these are the ideas we want to like teach or explore. and I
Okay.
want you to make a game around it.
Wow. Okay.
And I do it.
You know, like who you really should talk to about this, because I think he would pick up what you're putting down, is talk to Avi Calhoun. And he does Peace With, and he was at, I think, was it Yom Kippur? Yeah, he did Yom Kippur with us and he led some meditation and stuff like that. And he's a really interesting creative who might have a lot to offer to that. Because that's a really neat idea. He does, I'm not going to claim to fully understand what he does, but he does some stuff with like companies and nonprofits and whatever that are trying to deal with different kinds of issues. And it's kind of coaching, but from this very creative approach.
Hmm.
Um, I could easily see you plugging into something like that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
some organization needs you and you can kind of reorient them using games. Like
Yeah.
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's just now I have to like approach people and talk to them and do all that
Ah.
anti-introvert stuff that like you talked about the last episode, where it's like, oh, I want to be at home. They should be coming to me. I should not have
Nice.
to exert any effort whatsoever
Yeah,
to
it
get
doesn't
this
work that
done.
way. Doesn't
It's
work that
I
way.
want it and I should have it because I want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, totally doesn't work that way.
It's just like no. But yeah, and the way I was seeing it, like and ChatGPT really puffed me up here. It said, yeah, you'd be amazing at that. I'm like, I know.
Oh yeah, it's such a sycophant. It's such a sycophant.
But
I've never had someone love me more in my life than Chat
oh
GPT
my
because
God.
it just is convinced you can do anything, you
It's
know.
like, yeah, yeah.
There's a South Park episode recently where one of the characters tries to prove how nonsense ChatGPT is, and she says, "Hey ChatGPT, I'm interested in making a salad out of French fries," and the ChatGPT reads back, "What a clever idea," or something like that. I'm like, "Yeah, this is so dumb. That's so true."
It's wonderful. It's a very ignorant yet it's somehow well informed yet ignorant. And
Well
it's full of
informed.
nonsense and it loves you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the worst thing for, well, it goes back to the limitation thing, right? That as a creative person, one of the things you need, well, you, like Shawn, but all of us, is you need someone or something to say no,
Yeah,
whether you like that or not.
yeah.
Like it is great that Kehillah has a board of directors and that board of directors says no because the dumbest things that I would have gotten us into, like the most, to use your word, bizarro, like the most bizarro things that Kehillah would do. I mean, I would be working at McDonald's to try to make us more money so that we could pay off the dumb ideas that I've had. Um, and
But
because it is kind of helpful.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, okay. And also it's like my aside from that, it's like my problem is it hasn't always it did in a rare sort of way, ChatGPT has helped me. And
Okay.
that it and now we're here veering toward AI now. We have that whole ethical
Oh yeah.
conundrum that we're
Let's
gonna
do
talk
it. Let's
about,
bring it.
okay.
Bring
Where
it.
it helped me think bigger about the things that it's good at.
Okay.
Like the compiling of the info and kind of synthesizing it and
Mm,
but you have to tell it exactly the kind of output you want. And that requires like a certain precision of language that
yeah.
if you don't have it or if you don't put it in there, do not expect it to come out.
Okay.
But the way it came is it really helped me think bigger about um what I would like. I have a maddening tendency is like you would think that a lot of artists are shall we say arrogant geniuses.
Yeah. I mean, that's the stereotype. Sure.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't it's like I have an artistic temperament. I have a buckets loads of creativity that needs an outlet for me to function properly. And that is
Mm,
not me bragging about it. Like I said, it's not me bragging.
right.
It's because sometimes in life that gets in the way. It really does.
Right.
It
Right.
really does. And it kind of so it's like managing something like I don't want to call it a mental illness or like a disability. It's not because I
Right.
consider it a gift. But it's
Okay.
kind of like being on the spectrum or being ADHD.
Okay.
It's where there's so much going on internally that,
Mm.
and the world isn't built for that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you have to manage around it in some way. It is a thing I have to
Mm.
actively think about, and a thing I have to actively be mindful of. It's like, okay, could I get that Amazon warehouse job? Probably. Um,
Right, right.
the scandals involving workplace safety notwithstanding, is it really something I can see myself doing for more than like a season?
Mm.
And his answer is hell no. Hell no.
Right.
I would go stir crazy before that. And that's the great thing about like being involved with like community, like this thing that I'm doing. It's sort of like me managing something that will be a weakness most of the time and try to turn it into like a strength that sustains me. But going back to
Mm.
ChatGPT and the horrible, horrible ChatGPT, horrible, horrible AI, I know.
Yeah.
Um, the so it was great at synthesizing like a lot of information, especially involving shall we say alternative quasi spiritual practices
Okay, sure.
that I'm not going to get into detail there
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And the thing that kept cropping up is that it's Shawn, you need to be involved in relationship work. You need to be involved in
Mm.
work where like your creativity is so inspiring when people see it. And I know for a fact, and the thing is, it wasn't telling me things didn't already know because people tell me that when they experience these things that I do, it's amazing for them and they love it. And I'm like,
Wow.
why don't I do this more often? Yeah,
Wow.
so I don't know. It's just something I do. Like I said, I take it for granted all the time,
Yeah.
and it kind of got me. It delayed what could have been something I could have been doing all along.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So
but
so you can use ChatGPT as a partner when you understand like what it is. I mean, that's like the shidduch thing you were saying earlier. Like you have this relationship to this tool that you can use creatively as long as you understand what the relationship really is.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's otherwise it's gonna spit out garbage.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out. No, that's
It's gonna
absolutely
it's
true.
so
Yeah, just like
garbage.
cooking or anything else.
Yeah,
Well, what are some things that, we're kind of wrapping up here that, you want people to know about? Are there creative things you're working on that you want more people to engage with you on? Or since you said like, you're not the salesperson, right? So I'm going to ask you to be the salesperson.
God. Oh, it's kind of weird, and it's like I did have that gig where I was like pretty much asking people for donations on like random places. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, you did that. I remember you telling me about that.
yeah, and I was like, oh, it wasn't so bad. It's like
Okay.
the hours and the driving kicked my ass, but other than that, the actual activity itself wasn't too bad. But right now I'm like I mentioned, I'm pivoting into storytelling games on demand as
Okay.
what I do. And Um, there are a couple of things that I have. I mean, you're aware of Word, Wheel, and Woe. I mean, a handful of people know about that. I also have for the corporate clients the stuff that's focused on problem solving and teamwork and all that. I have another game called Adventure Calls, which is
Okay.
imagine pulpy fantasy adventure, but much easier to grasp and much easier to learn.
Okay. Cool.
That's one of them. The other thing I created, this one has actually been like my darling for a few months.
Okay.
It's called Mooples.
Mooples.
Yes.
Okay.
And
What
it's
are
this
mooples?
okay, Mooples. It's like this, okay, it's this absurdist, dark satire about you're playing initiates into a cult that worships a literal golden cow.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a whole structure about it about the the cult mentality and like authority and power. And of course, there's under subversive elements about resistance and whatnot. But like, you're playing these people in these cow costumes
Okay.
with these like pink fanny packs with udders on them. And you can't
Fascinating.
talk, you have to moo because that's the rule. And like it's all about like trying to survive in this bizarre environment. Um, in the past I've made it I added extra layers to it, but I was like, the cult itself is so weird. And
Yeah.
trying to survive that on a daily basis is seems like it'd be more fun. So I took that whole story of the golden calf from the
Okay.
Torah
Yeah.
and made a game out of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So like if people want to like so do you have a website? Do you have I know you have an Instagram, but is there a place where like if I wanted to play that game or see that game being played or whatever that I could go to?
You'd have to email me or bother me on social media or LinkedIn.
Okay.
Um, I haven't made that available yet, which is now that you bring it up, that's kind of my cue to like stop dithering and just put it out there.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
so
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been, like when you're in that process where it's like, oh, I need to fine tune a few things,
Yep, yep,
and
I
then
get
it
it.
becomes the whole thing.
Yep,
That's when
yep.
you just, no, I can't do it yet. I need to write font. No, I can't do it yet. I need to write pictures. It's like just put it out there.
Yeah, a little bit. What is the perfect is the enemy of good or
Done.
whatever. Yeah, the enemy of done. Yeah, fair enough. Wow. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That's awesome. All right. Well, kind of wrapping up here, thank you so much. I'm excited about the idea that people will hear this podcast and they'll come to see you the way that I've gotten to know you over the years as just this, I mean, absolute font of creativity, right? And the Einstein quote about imagination is more important than knowledge, maybe that's not 100% true all the time, but dang if like it doesn't make the world more interesting,
Oh
right?
yeah,
At a
yeah,
minimum, at a
yeah.
minimum.
At
So,
least in my head, it's more interesting.
well, we need to help you get it out there into the world. So maybe
Yeah,
this can be, the 35 people who will hear this. Maybe
it was like
maybe one of
actually,
you can help.
yes. They were like actually, like yeah, I would love that.
There you go. All
Yeah,
right. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you.
yeah. Thank you.
Don't run off just yet. I have a few things for you. Listen, we have got a latke making class with me, Rabbi Patrick, Tuesday, December 9th. Address to be provided, but it's going to be in Midlothian. So very excited about that. Come make 3 different kinds of latkes, 3 different kinds of sauces. They pair really well together. And yes, gluten-free, vegan options available. Love to have you at that. Great opportunity to hang out with some people, learn a little bit more about Hanukkah than the story that you were told as a kid. So that is Tuesday, December 9th, followed by Friday, December 12th, Shabbat dinner and service at my home. Hey, maybe I'll take some of the lessons from the Latka class and apply that into the dinner. But it's going to be lovely again here at our home. And also, yes, it's going to be a big weekend of being at our house. Shabbat Torah study at our home, bagels, lox. We're going to study the Torah portion. You know the drill. So, lots of opportunities to learn, lots of opportunities to connect, have a lot of fun. Also, because we're talking about like latkes and things like that, we have to talk about the 8th annual Hanukkah party, which is at Art Factory. Cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday, December 20th, 5:30. And listen, you need to help Jessica Borda because she is the coordinator for this thing. So if you're interested in volunteering, we're not asking for a lot. Just come, set up the Judaica table, help us with the menorahs, help us put together all the art stuff, put out the food, that kind of stuff. Set up, clean up. Easy, easy stuff. But we need your help to do it. So reach out to rabbi@rabbipatrick.com. I'll get you in touch with Jess, but we would love to have your help. Again, 8th annual Hanukkah party at Art Factory. Help comes from you, from Jessica, and with some support from the National Center to Encourage Judaism. So, love to see you there. Thanks, friends.